good morning. Hello from the beautiful Romania. We are in the south part of the country, near the capital city of Bucharest, and we'll do today a road trip to Pitești on county roads. We won't take the motorway A1. I took it so many times that I want to try something new now. We are now in Mihăilești in Giurgiu County, about 20 kilometers south of Bucharest, southwest of Bucharest. We are coming from the National Road 6. Actually, we are on the National Road 6, but a new bypass was built to bypass the small town of Mihăilești. The bypass has the indicative of 6H, and we are now on the former National Road 6. But we'll soon turn left to drive on County Road 412A. The weather should be very nice today. We are waiting a great spring day with temperature of 20 degrees. But now it's in the morning, it's 7:30 a.m. and we have just 6 degrees right now. I'm hoping that these county roads are in good condition. They should be drivable, but let's see. We'll go through many villages on the way, discover the countryside in this part of Romania, in the South Romanian Plains, and we will slowly ascend to Pitești. We are now at an altitude of about 90 meters, and we'll climb up to 300 in Pitești. And now we are exiting Mihăilești. Mihăilești is a small town on the Argeș river in Giurgiu County. More or less an external suburb of Bucharest. The access to Bucharest being done on the National Road 6. And the fields are starting to get greener. We are at the end of March. Following the Argeș river, a quite important river in South Romania. It flows from the Făgăraș mountains south to Pitești and then southeast, passing south of Bucharest until it flows into the Danube at Oltenița. It's over 300 kilometers long. Important river. The suburbs of Bucharest developed a lot during the last like 10 years, with many houses being built, some small enterprises, some small factories also opened here. And to the right we have a big lake. It's a lake on the Argeș river. I think 10 years ago it was pretty depressive to drive here. These were very poor areas, but like I said, now it's much better. As many people from Bucharest moved outside of the city in order to have more space, to live in a greener area. is not in the best condition, but it's drivable. But the alignment is not the best one also. You have many curves in these villages, and it may seem like a very densely populated area, but it's not like this actually, as the villages are built just along the road. In most villages there is no parallel road to this one, just a line of houses left and right over many kilometers. Not the best urban planning or village planning here in this area. Everybody wants to stay on the county road, but it has quite a lot of traffic. And noise. Some trucks, Bulgarian truck. Maybe he's trying to find a way to get to the motorway A1. He doesn't want to drive on the Bucharest bypass, which is where there are many construction works right now. I expect the drive to take like something like a little bit more than 2 hours. If I would drive on the A1 motorway, I would be in Pitești in a little bit more than 1 hour. But like I said, drove it so many times that I wanted to try something new now. I never drove here to these villages. I actually have a big area without any clinched roads between the A1 motorway, south of the A1 motorway, until the National Road 6. And I was a little bit curious to see how this area looks like, since I've never been here. Many campers, they are storing them here. They are renting them. You can rent a camper here. Becoming also more and more popular also with the Romanians, camper holidays. Developed a lot during the last years, as it has absorbed many young people from different areas of the country. It's a very young and livable place now, with a lot of economic opportunities, some very good economic opportunities here in Bucharest. Actually, from the economical perspective, Bucharest is over the average of the European Union. Many people don't believe it, but it's like this. It's a very attractive city for young people, as there are a lot of things to see and do there. A lot of universities, great nightlife. used to live in Bucharest for 8 years as a student. Had a great times there, but the city is very densely populated. A lot of traffic jams, a lot of pollution there, and I decided to leave the city some years ago, moved to Germany. And now I live in a very nice quiet area south of Munich. Totally different from Bucharest. Also, the infrastructure developed a lot during the last 10-15 years in Romania. Many county roads were asphalted. Some 20-25 years ago, just 10 to 15% of the county roads in Romania were asphalted or paved. And a lot of work was done during the last years to modernize them. Now it's very nice to drive on Romanian roads. Also, the national roads are most of them very good. From the pavement perspective, there are just a few national roads which are not okay to drive. Changed a lot during the last 10 years. And we have to wait for a train here. It's an important railway. The railway from Bucharest to Timișoara over Craiova and Turnu Severin, and Drobeta Turnu Severin. It's a main railway in Romania. Let's see how much time we have to wait here, because usually have to wait like a few minutes. here it comes. A big train. Despite being a main railway, it deteriorated a lot during the last years. Romania concentrated a lot of its effort to modernize the roads, but the railways were not maintained very well during the last years. This used to be quite a fast railway. It's a very straight one too. But now the trains are going quite slow. Also the railway crossings are quite bad in Romania generally, so you have to drive at very low speed over them. I don't know why, but they are the worst in Europe in my opinion, and almost all of them. I know just 2 or 3 good railway crossings in Romania where you can drive normally over them. I don't know why they cannot do it properly. Of Zorile, where we were. Now we are getting out of it. Very curvy road, despite we are in a flat area. But when they modernized it, they the road remained on the old alignment. They didn't do any realignments in order to increase the radius of the curves. Now we are in the village of Hobaia, still in Giurgiu County. We cross some counties now. Oh my alarm. I think from Giurgiu we will get to Dâmbovița, and then Teleorman, and then Argeș. Giurgiu is the administrative seat of Giurgiu County. Giurgiu County is situated south of Bucharest. It covers an area from close to Bucharest until the Danube. Actually, Giurgiu, the town of Giurgiu, is situated on the Danube, near the border with Bulgaria. There is also the bridge to Russia, to Bulgaria. here. Students are going to school. So I have also here a nice football field, soccer field. The village of Ogrezeni. It's a somewhat bigger one. I'm very happy to be able to speak live. I'm alone in the car. Quite often I'm driving with my family, with my wife, with my 3-year-old daughter, and then I cannot speak live while I'm driving. I cannot comment the drive while driving, and I have to voice over it afterwards. But I hope to do more more drives with live commentary during the next time. Now that drive is part of a longer road trip, a 2 days road trip from Romania to Germany. So I'm actually coming back home to Germany from Romania, and I will drive on some roads that I haven't clinched until now. Clinched many national roads in Romania, also some county roads. I think about 73% of the national roads until now. Been in every county of the 50 counties in Romania. But from the county roads I have just about like 12% or 15% clinched. So I'm trying to improve my statistics now with this drive. I have 2 days at disposal, so I can drive a little bit around, take some detours, not a big hurry. Now I'm planning today to drive to close to the Hungarian border. About 800 kilometers from my hometown of Brăila till there. Started at 4:30 this morning. Normally that's a drive of about 9 hours on the motorway and on the main national roads, but like I said, I'll try to cover some other roads today. Drove many times on this main road from Brăila to the west border at Nădlac, and want to try something new today, because most of the times I'm quite in a hurry. I'm doing the drive from Brăila to Germany in 1 day most of the time. It's rarely that I have 2 days at my disposal like now. the county road 601 from Bucharest to Videle. Bucharest is on the right. And we are turning left here. Driving somewhat parallel with the A1 motorway, the main motorway of the country that goes from Bucharest to Pitești. We are driving like 20-30 kilometers south of it on these county roads. For international transit traffic, a lot of trucks. The motorway is finished until Pitești. It was actually the first motorway in Romania, opened in 1973 during the communist regime. But now there are advanced plans to build it further to Sibiu. Actually, there is a big gap between Pitești and Sibiu. 2 sections out of 5 are already under construction between Pitești and Sibiu. But the other ones are about to start construction during the next 1 or 2 years, hopefully. It's a big project, big motorway project. As the motorway will cross the Carpathians, many tunnels, many bridges. It will be the most spectacular motorway in Romania. Romania has no motorway crossing over the Carpathians until now. It's a little bit like splitting the country in two. The Carpathians. There are some good roads over them, but they are having a lot of traffic, congested, they are slow. Some motorways are desperately needed over the mountains. And then from Sibiu to the west border at Nădlac, the motorway is almost completely finished, excepting just a 15-kilometer section between Deva and Lugoj. And now we have a nice forest. We are now a little bit outside this group of villages, like the outer suburbs of Bucharest. And we are driving through the countryside. It's actually quite a big forest here. Also colder in the forest. We have just 3 degrees, but it's, like I said, it should be a nice day today. No clouds on the sky. starting a little bit to climb very slowly. We are now at about 120 meters. The plains are slowly ascending direction Pitești. Pitești lies exactly at the contact between the Romanian Plains and the Subcarpathians hills. So you see the hills and maybe also the mountains, the snowy mountains towards the end of the drive. Part of the Romanian Plains. So we are slowly gaining in altitude. The valleys are getting a little bit deeper. Crossing over the National Road 61 that goes from the A1 motorway to Giurgiu. It's actually a shortcut to the border crossing to Bulgaria. Speed bump. Okay. We are going farther on County Road 601. We are in the valley of the National River. It's a tributary of the Argeș River. It's a very nice river. You can go with kayaks here. Goes through a nice natural area at Comana National Park there. Now we'll cross the river, the National River. Also known for a big battle between the Valahia ruler Mihăilești and the Turks in 1593 in Călugăreni, a little bit further down the valley. Unfortunately, also a lot of garbage near the road. It used to be much more. Maybe you don't believe it, but it's much better now, the situation. I don't know why the Romanians are just throwing their garbage. This perspective, the ecological perspective, still has to gain some ground in the Romanian villages. The people are not taking care of their environment. They don't care about what's outside their home. enough to cover the needs, but still it's quite some. Descending now again. Horse-pulled carriage. There used to be many of them 10-15 years ago, and now there are less and less. A small river. It's a Dâmbovnic river. Possible to go to Pitești over Videle. It's a little bit longer. We'll try next time. And now we are on the county road 611 in the village of Roata de Jos, or Lower Roata. Ends and Upper Roata starts. Almost no border between, no field in between. You go from one village to the other. Quite some traffic on these county roads, as there are many villages on them, and we are not far away from Bucharest. It's also Monday morning, when many people are going to the city. I suppose a lot of people from this area are working in Bucharest. some of them are also working here at these oil fields or in agriculture. But definitely an important part of the people here are working in Bucharest. Some of them are going maybe every day to the big city, some of them on a weekly basis. Now we are about 50 kilometers away from Bucharest, still doable on an everyday basis, but it's quite far away. Need over 1 hour one way. Slow walk here. The village of Cartojani, part of Roata de Jos commune. Old and not so common speed bumps on Romanian roads. There are some of them, but not too many. County Road 701. It goes right to the motorway, to the A1 motorway, and left to Poeni, to the village of Poeni. My GPS is trying to bring me to the A1 motorway, but no, not this time. Telling me to turn back. Against the Dâmbovnic River. Drove some kilometers on its valley. Now we left it. We leave it, sorry. Drive in spring, one of my favorite seasons to drive. I like a lot to drive in spring and in fall with some nice fall colors, and also in spring it's very nice as nature gets more vibrant after the winter. The winters can be pretty harsh here in South Romania, with a lot of wind and quite cold temperatures. Minus temperatures are frequent, and there are from time to time some big snowstorms. Less during the last years, but still they are quite normal for this part of the country. For agriculture. There is a very good soil here, black soil, very fertile. quite often the agriculture is not done with the best machines and the best methods. And the fields are quite fragmented. Everyone has like 1 or 2 hectares. Can earn a living, if you can say this, or a little bit from agriculture, but the general agricultural output can be definitely improved. Here we go right to Pitești. Pitești is starts to be signed here. On County Road 503. It's the bigger village with some flats. €1 is 5 lei, so it's about 160. Quite a lot. They went up very fast. The oil prices ran up after the war between after Russia attacked Ukraine, and despite the oil prices have gone down since then, they forgot to bring the gasoline prices also down. They are now trying to make more profits. Quite silly, but it's free market. Nothing can be done against it. But the request for gasoline is still there despite higher prices, because the people have to be mobile. are now farther away from Bucharest. County, it's a very nice county. It's all types of landscape possible in Romania, from flatlands to higher mountains. The higher mountains, the highest mountains in Dâmbovița are reaching 2,500 meters in Buturugeni mountains. County road to 659. The 503 was going right. It's also a nice possibility to get to Pitești. Unfortunately, I think the road is not modernized all the way, but this one is. Carpathians in the distance. Like I said, Dâmbovița has all possible types of landscape, from high mountains up to 2,500 meters high to flatlands. We are now at about 160 meters, but the lower parts of Dâmbovița County are as low as 100. Everything in between from 100 to 2,500 meters. Very nice county. And the road gets worse. The road quality changed because we crossed immediately in Argeș County. There was no sign, but now we are in Argeș County, and it seems that as these are county roads, they are administered by the counties. Dâmbovița did a good work, but Argeș still has to improve the quality of the pavement on this county road. It's not bad, really bad, but it's no comparison with the Dâmbovița part. Argeș is also a very nice county, also very varied, from flatlands to high mountains. Actually, the highest peaks in Romania are in Argeș County, or on the border between Argeș and Sibiu counties. It's the main ridge of Făgăraș, forms the border between Argeș and Sibiu counties. But we are now in the flatter area, in the flatlands, south in Argeș County. Also goes from altitudes from about 150 to here in this area to 2000, over 2500. It has everything: hills, mountains, flatland. Also a lot of historical monuments. Also former capital of Valahia, Curtea de Argeș, is in Argeș County. Also Câmpul Lung, it's very nice historical town. A lot of things to see and do here in Argeș County. About 50-60 kilometers southeast of Pitești, our destination. Pitești is the seat of Argeș County. And a nice straight road to bring us to Pitești. But there are quite some villages on the way. How fast to get from Bucharest to very rural areas. Bucharest is a very technological city. It's very modern, very vibrant, in total contrast with these areas that are not so far away. Bucharest started to radiate more to these villages, but still the life is totally different here. Now we are in Mozăceni. Totally different ways of living that you can find in about 50-60 kilometers. Every way of living with its plus and minuses. are still in the Dâmbovnic River Valley. We left it for some kilometers, but now we are going back to it. The valley is to the right. We are on a terrace over the valley. Tractor in front of us, and it's impossible to overtake as the road is very curvy. You have to stay a little bit behind it. So the thing on these county roads, that's also the picturesque side about it. These are not fast drives, but you get to see much more. You get to see how the people are living. Houses are looking. Center of Mozăceni. Some artillery pieces displayed here. difficult as he drives quite to the left of the road. See. Drives more or less in the middle of the road. And there are a lot of curves. It's true, if you are driving with such a tractor so slow, with about 20 kilometers per hour, you could go to the right for some seconds, and there are many possible places to do this. And now I'll try also to overtake in order to let the other cars to overtake you. It's a little bit insane what he's doing. Drives too much in the middle of the road. Mozăceni also crossed the 200 meters altitude mark according to my GPS watch, which shows the altitude quite exactly. To the right is the Dâmbovnic Valley. We are on a terrace above it, about 20 meters above the river, above the valley. Actually following the valley up until almost Pitești. There is also a parallel county road, the county road 503, that goes to Pitești, more or less through the valley. It's a very straight road, much straighter than this one, which has a lot of villages and curves, but they are working on it to modernize it. It will be a great alternative for this road. I think most of the people will take the other one when it will be ready. It's very, very straight road. Goes through almost no village on the way, or just some small parts of villages, totally different than this one, with this long villages near the road. Just one lane of houses. one line of houses, and then the valley. Upper part of the Romanian Plains, the valleys are getting deeper. Here's the county road 679D, goes right, and we still have 46 kilometers until Pitești. Also at stray dogs in Romanian villages. It's not a pleasure to hit one. Some of them are quite big. Much better the situation in comparison with what used to be like 10-15 years ago, but Romania still needs about 15-20 years of work at this level in order to improve them. comment what you like most. Such a live commentary of the drive, or just some words at the beginning and maybe at the end also, speaking about the most important places on the road, and some music in between. I have to do this kind of videos if I'm driving with somebody else in the car, but I like to do the live commentary when I'm alone. But please tell me, what do you think? I think both of them have their beauty. If I'm doing the live commentary, you also hear the sounds of the car. It's somewhat more interactive, but the minus in this case is that I cannot say so many things about different places in real time. I'm saying just what I know about them, and it is not possible to read something while driving about these places. Sometimes I'm trying to read a little bit before, but for long trips like 700 kilometers you cannot say something interesting about every place on the road, or you cannot memorize so much things. But please tell me in a comment what you like most. I think there are pluses and minuses for every type of videos, but maybe the mix is the best one, would also be. Also feel free to write me suggestions. What do you think I can improve? I'll be very happy to answer to your comments as fast as possible. Usually answer my comments in less than 24 hours. I think 90% of them are answered in less than 24 hours. Most of them in 1 or 2 hours. Agricultural works of the season. They seem to have some good machines, relatively new, sorry, my German, just 20 kilometers to Pitești. I think it was faster than I thought, because some kilometers ago there was a sign with 46. butterflies while driving, while exploring new areas. A pleasure to be again on wheels. Had to postpone some planned road trips because of this coronavirus pandemic, but I am trying to be on the road as much as possible, discover new areas, new regions. I know many people are thinking that the time in car is lost time, but I don't think so. You can learn so much about an area while driving through it, especially for a macro exploration. It's ideal. But I also like to walk, to ride bike. I have many hobbies in the direction of exploring places, hiking. Really passionate about it. I have also a small YouTube channel about hiking and biking tours called Real Time Nature. So I'm not just on the road, but I'm also on foot or on the bike exploring areas. Gliganu, and we are now in Șerbănești, one after another. More trucks in this area, so you get closer to Pitești. Still a few of them in Romania. Not too many, but still a few of them. And here to the left, the County Road 703B goes to Costești, to the National Road 65B. Poșta is a small town in Argeș County. 703B county road goes ahead to the A1 motorway. In 10 kilometers one can reach it. Mountains of Romania, over 2,000 meters. March is actually the month with the most amount of snow, the highest amount of snow. Suburbs of Pitești, but still about 10 kilometers to go maybe to Pitești. houses. Seems like some people from Pitești moved here to a quieter place. Despite I think most of them would go a little bit to the north of the city, to the hilly area. There are more forests there. Also better in summer. Here in summer it's quite hot. Temperature of 35 degrees are common in this part of Romania in summer. And they last for 1 month, 1 or 2 months. It's not a big problem if you have 35 degrees for a few days, but if you have it for a few weeks in a row, it's much more harder, much uncomfortable. Pitești is a very important city in this part of Romania. Has a population of about 160,000 inhabitants. It's an economical and cultural center. It's the seat of Argeș County. It's quite a long history. It was they started from the late Middle Ages. It was a very important place for the National Liberal Party, one of the ruling parties of Romania in the late 19th century, beginning of the 20th century, actually until the Second World War. During the Second World War, it was also bombed by the Allies. There was already some industry here in Pitești. Chemical plant there. And after the Second World War, after the communists came to power, they had a center here in Pitești where they researched ways to change the mind of the people, how to make people that are much more prone to communist ideas. They did this research for some years. They tortured inmates. It was very, very bad. The late 60s, 1960s, the big Dacia car manufacturing plant was built near Pitești, starting a period of very good economical conditions. Dacia was bought by Renault, I think in 2003 or 2004, if I remember well. And is doing very good, exporting also a lot of cars. Besides Dacia, also some other car parts manufacturing companies established here. Because there is a big ecosystem around Dacia, with many other smaller companies producing car parts here in the city or nearby. Pitești is also very, very well positioned, having access to the A1 motorway. It's very well connected. Craiova from Pitești. Improving the connections to the southwest part of the city, also to other cities like Sadina or Craiova. In Craiova, Ford has a big plant there producing cars. It's a pretty developed area here in Pitești. The city lies also has quite a picturesque position at the foothills of the Subcarpathians, at the contact between Subcarpathians and the Romanian Plains, South Romanian Plains. A lot of forests nearby to the north of the city, on the Argeș river. And that's the railway from Pitești to Craiova. Pitești is to the right, Craiova to the left. Also increased. Many people commuting from here to Pitești. We are now in Bradu. Urbanized suburb. They are building also a footpath and bicycle path near the road. Pitești from southeast. The county road goes directly into the city. Houses here. I don't understand why the people are building their house exactly on this main road. You have all the traffic nearby, all the noise, all the pollution. You definitely want to go a little bit to the left or to the right. Maybe not much, but 100 meters or so. Quieter, and you still have a good access. 300 meters in altitude. Climbed quite a lot, about 200 meters since the start of our drive, or a little bit more than 200. I think we'll reach a maximum of about 320, a little bit further on, here in Bradu. It's a really big commune, big village close to Pitești. And we have the Făgăraș Mountains in front of us. Are quite far away, I don't know if you see them. But easy to be seen with the eye. About 80 kilometers to the mountains. The National Road 7C goes to the Făgăraș Mountains, the so-called Trans-Făgăraș Road, a very picturesque road, high alpine road, goes at over 2000 meters, very spectacular alpine landscapes. Did and shared the drive to the peak of the road to Bârlogu from Curtea de Argeș. Please feel free to check this one. Also saw many bears on the road near the Vidraru Lake. On the bridge is the National Road 65B. It's a bypass of Pitești. Offers a connection from the A1 motorway to the National Road 65 to Sadina in Craiova. Radu is. We are driving through it for the last like 10 kilometers. The National 65. That's bringing us into Pitești. You can see the block of flats. Entering the city, actually descending to the Argeș river. Left here. Yes, I will drive further on to Drăgănescu. We'll go through Trivale. Neighborhoods. Climbing again on the terrace over Argeș. Pitești is built on mainly two terraces above Argeș, the lower one where the city center is, and this upper one where we are going right now. Some works here. They're remarking this zebra crossing. Now I'll end the video here. Hope you enjoyed the relatively long drive from Bucharest to Pitești on county roads. Drove exclusively almost on county roads. And stay tuned for more videos from our road trips here on the channel. Bye bye, until the next time.